the early 2010s, a deep, hidden part of the internet started to gain notoriety, the dark web. It's a place where anonymity reigns supreme, where identities are cloaked in layers of encryption. This shadowy network, accessible only through specialized software, quickly became a haven for a myriad of illegal activities from drug trafficking to cybercrime. Among the denizens of this murky underworld, one name stood out: Alpha02, a mysterious multi-millionaire operating out of Thailand. His operations were vast, his reach global, and his identity a mystery, making him a prime target for law enforcement agencies around the world. FBI and DEA investigators embarked on a relentless pursuit, their mission clear: to unmask and apprehend the elusive Alpha02. Their journey took them into the heart of the dark web, a digital labyrinth of secrecy and criminality. While the dark web was growing, so too was the resolve of law enforcement around the globe. One of the earliest and most infamous dark web marketplaces was the Silk Road. Named after the historic trade route of the East, the Silk Road became a virtual hub for illicit transactions. From drugs to counterfeit currency, it was a one-stop shop for those seeking anonymity in their activities. However, like all things operating in the shadows, the Silk Road's days were numbered. In 2013, the FBI shut down the Silk Road, arresting its founder Ross Ulbricht and seizing millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. This marked a significant victory for law enforcement, but it also sparked a series of questions. How could the authorities police a realm that was designed to be impenetrable? The closure of Silk Road did not spell the end of dark web marketplaces. In fact, it led to the emergence of many others, each more complex and elusive than the last. The Hydra-like nature of these marketplaces posed a monumental challenge to authorities worldwide. For each head that was cut off, two more would grow in its place, making the task of combating illegal activities a constant uphill battle. Yet the closure of Silk Road was a testament to the tenacity of law enforcement. It was a reminder that while the dark web offered a cloak of anonymity, it was not impenetrable. The closure of Silk Road was only the beginning, as many other marketplaces like AlphaBay emerged. In 2014, a new marketplace, AlphaBay, was founded by the elusive Alpha02. This was no ordinary marketplace, but a dark web titan that would quickly grow to become the largest of its kind. It was a virtual bazaar for all things illegal, a playground for the darker side of human nature. AlphaBay was designed with a user-friendly interface, mirroring the convenience of mainstream e-commerce platforms like Amazon. But instead of books, gadgets, or clothing, it dealt in a wide variety of illegal products and services. You could find everything from drugs to counterfeit money, from hacking tools to stolen credit card information. It was a one-stop shop for crime, operating under the cover of the dark web. How did AlphaBay work? It was simple, really. Sellers would list their illicit goods or services, and buyers would browse the listings, much like any other online marketplace. But instead of traditional currency, transactions were conducted in cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Monero, or Ethereum. These digital forms of money provided an added layer of anonymity, making it even harder for authorities to trace illegal activities. Despite its nefarious nature, AlphaBay was a well-oiled machine. It offered a review system for buyers to rate sellers, a dispute resolution process, and even customer service. It was a dark mirror reflecting our own world, where even in the underbelly of the internet, the principles of supply and demand held sway. At its peak, AlphaBay had over 200,000 users and over 40,000 vendors. It was a sprawling digital metropolis, a testament to the power of the dark web. But as it grew, so did the attention it attracted. Law enforcement agencies from around the world began to take notice, and the hunt for Alpha02 intensified. AlphaBay was a dark web titan, but every titan has a vulnerability. The bigger they are, the harder they fall, and AlphaBay was no exception. Despite its seemingly impenetrable defenses, the downfall of AlphaBay was just around the corner, and with it, the unmasking of Alpha02. But that is a story for another time. Despite the anonymity of the dark web, investigators were determined to unmask Alpha02. This was a task that required meticulous attention to detail, patience, and a deep understanding of the complex landscape of the dark web. The investigators faced a massive hurdle in their mission: the veil of anonymity that Alpha02 had created around himself. This was a world where the slightest mistake could mean the difference between success and failure. But then, a glimmer of hope appeared. An anonymous tipster provided the authorities with a crucial piece of information: an email address associated with Alpha02. This was the breakthrough they had been waiting for. The email address led them to a man named Alexandra Kazis, a Canadian living a life of luxury in Thailand. As they began to dig deeper into Kazis's online presence, they discovered a series of digital breadcrumbs that linked him to AlphaBay. He hadn't been as careful as he thought, leaving behind traces of his activities that the investigators were able to follow. They found that Kazis had used the same personal email address to send out welcome emails to new AlphaBay users. Further investigations revealed that the same email address was used to reset a password for a PayPal account associated with AlphaBay. These were the pieces of the puzzle that the investigators needed. The net was tightening around Kazis. His online activities, his opulent lifestyle in Thailand, and his association with AlphaBay all pointed to one conclusion. Alexander Kazis was Alpha02, the man behind the world's largest dark web marketplace. But the investigators knew that they needed more than just digital evidence. They needed to catch Kazis in the act, to physically link him to AlphaBay. They began to monitor his activities in Thailand, building a case against him. The net was closing in on Alpha02, but the final act was yet to unfold. The hunt for the king of the dark web was reaching its climax, and the world was watching with bated breath. In a global operation, investigators traced Kazis to Thailand, leading to his arrest. The man behind the pseudonym Alpha02 was finally within the grasp of justice. However, the story took a tragic turn when Kazis, confined within the walls of a Thai prison, decided to take his own life. His departure left a chilling void in the narrative of this dark web saga. The impact of his death rippled through the investigation. With Kazis gone, interrogating the mind behind AlphaBay was no longer an option. Yet his demise did not mean the end of the investigation. Quite the contrary, it served to illuminate the extent of Alpha02's dark web empire. In the aftermath of his arrest and subsequent suicide, AlphaBay, the behemoth of the dark web, was shut down. This marked a significant milestone in the battle against online illegal activities. AlphaBay's closure was a blow to the dark web's underbelly, disrupting the flow of illicit transactions and sending a clear message to others who dared to tread the same path. Yet the victory was bittersweet. Yes, the Kingpin was gone and his dark marketplace dismantled. However, the war was far from won. New figures would rise, new marketplaces would emerge, and the cycle would continue. The fall of Alpha02 marked a major victory, but the war on the dark web was far from over. The journey to unmask Alpha02 was filled with challenges and unexpected turns. A labyrinth of encrypted networks, the dark web continues to pose a formidable exercise for global law enforcement. The Alpha02 investigation, as intense as it was, is just a snapshot of the relentless cat-and-mouse game unfolding in cyberspace. The dark web, a battleground of illegal activities, is a constant reminder of the fine line between privacy and criminality.